Hello and welcome. I'm Jacob Bellotti, joined as always by my sparkling, radiant, honey co-host, Larry Saperstein. Hello.
Hey.
Well, this is a big one because you are on the season finale of Let's Talk About That.
All systems are a go.
Talking database activated.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about who? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about that.
Girl, I cannot believe we are talking about that.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about that.
Wow. I mean, this is our 50th episode of the podcast.
50 episodes of us talking and being annoying and making stupid jokes and Larry farting.
Hey, we're not annoying. We're amazing. There was a video that went very viral. We got no hate comments, and that is a win.
That's probably the first time.
Sometimes we get hate comments, but, you know, we've had a good track record of not getting too many hate comments.
That's true. No, thank you to everybody who has been with us, especially those of you who have been here since the beginning.
Yeah.
We have so much fun doing this, and we can't wait to bring you season 2. Which we will not tell you the date of, but there will be season 2, so don't you fret. We'll be back.
We're gonna take a little bit of time off, not a lot, but a little bit of time off, and then we'll come back.
Yeah,
you know, and keep everything going. We have a busy summer.
Yes.
So we're gonna
the reason for that time off, by the way, is we're going to Europe.
We are going to Europe, and you know, we're gonna showcase our Europe trip.
Yes.
But you know, we'll post the episodes a little bit later. But can I say something? I found out last night.
Yeah.
That you got recognized for this podcast.
Yes, I did.
And I never knew about it.
I think it's funny that that's such a big deal to you.
Well, because, you know, it's a big milestone to be recognized for the podcast.
Yeah.
For something that we have just started within a year.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we're in Los Angeles, okay? So, I feel like a lot of people here are more likely to consume that media.
I understand, but it's still someone recognizing you for this podcast.
This is true. Unfortunately, they recognized me on a terrible day. I was on a hike and I was like sweating and disgusting, but you know.
Well, that's what always happens.
Right. So for the final time this season, let's talk about us.
Let's talk about us.
Girl, what a week we have had here.
We have.
At the LTAT headquarters.
Yeah.
We went to 2 major concerts.
Major.
We went to Kylie Minogue at the Staples Center / Crypto.com
arena. You know, I'm still, it's been like 2 years since they renamed it.
Yeah.
But I still struggle with calling it Crypto.com arena.
Yeah.
I still struggle with that.
I still call it the Staples Center.
It doesn't roll off the tongue in the same way that Staples Center does.
Well, Staples Center was like an iconic name. That was around for a long time.
Yeah, it was Staples Center for a really long time.
Yeah. But we saw Kylie Minogue.
Kylie.
Fabulous.
Yeah, she was so good.
She's always so good.
How about that Rita Ora?
Yes, her opener was Rita Ora.
Also known as the Queen of Hearts from the Descendants movie.
Yes, it all comes back to Descendants. We saw Rita at the Descendants premiere, and this was our second time with Miss Rita Ora in the building.
This is actually the announcement that we are changing our branding, and starting season 2 of this podcast, we will be a Descendants podcast.
No, we will not. I cannot believe how many episodes The Descendants has come up on this podcast. It's kind of crazy.
It's like 20.
It's like it's like an upsettingly high number, like a number that you would not expect.
Well, we're just getting them on the pod left and right.
We've only had 2 of them. We had Kylie and Dara.
Yeah, and then everybody else in the Disney world.
This is true. But we saw Kylie Minogue, which was fabulous. absolutely fabulous.
What was your favorite moment of the Kylie concert?
What wasn't my favorite moment? Like, truly, I think everything she does is so incredible.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's really fun to see her doing what she does best. Like,
Sure.
she's been playing arenas for 40 years.
Yeah, we were talking about that, like, as we were leaving. It was like, she has been doing this on stage like this since before we were born.
Yeah.
Long before we were born.
Like she is an icon of the stage, and
Yeah.
that's like what she does best.
Yeah.
And it was fun to see her thriving in that element.
And she was having a really good time. She was like, she even said it in her show. She was like so grateful to be there.
Oh yeah.
And like, you know, it is something to be grateful for when you've had such a long career.
Yeah.
And you've been so influential to pop music, and like,
She's taking fan requests. I mean, she's
my God.
just having a good time.
Yeah, there was like there was something that happened with the sound system, right?
Yeah.
And she was just like taking fan requests, and her, like, you know how sometimes at shows they'll have like another pod stage.
Yes.
So she had one of those. So
Yes.
like she went kind of out into the crowd and was at this other pod stage.
Yeah.
And I mean, she was just taking requests.
She was incredible. I mean, the way she got up there for so long, and you know, she's not a young pop star. She's
Right.
you know, a more seasoned pop star.
Yes, she's seasoned.
She's
honey.
seasoned, and to be up there for as long as she was, dancing and moving around, like being fierce, like
Yeah.
I think it's really impressive.
Yeah.
So that was
totally.
my take on the concert.
I agree with that. I remember leaving and just feeling like, wow, this person really knows how to be on stage.
Yeah.
And she is so comfortable with being on stage. And like it really, you really can tell the difference. And like, this is no shade to any younger artists, but like, we spend a lot of time with younger artists. We are both younger artists, and you can really, not to say that those.
That's right. Our album comes out.
Well, we're younger in the entertainment field. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
yeah.
And all of the people who we know in music are fantastic, and they're gonna have bright, beautiful, amazing careers. And it's not to say that they are not wonderful performers, but there's a level of comfort and a level of like, nothing can faze me.
Yeah.
That really just comes through with someone who's been doing it for so long. You really can tell.
Yes, it's very apparent, and
Yeah.
and she's really just a superstar. That's really all I have to say about it. Like if you're not into Kylie Minogue, like go get into Kylie Minogue, because she is like the one, you know?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. I mean, it's hard. Like, a lot of people don't know Kylie Minogue
In America.
Because
Everywhere
she's
else,
Australian, and
everybody knows.
especially
Kylie
in
Minogue.
like the UK. She's like
the UK,
biggest thing.
Australia. She's the biggest thing that's ever lived. You know, all through Europe, like everybody.
Does she
knows
do
Kylie Minogue.
stadiums there rather than like?
I think she did the
arenas?
O2, which is a ginormous stadium in
Okay.
London. So like, I mean, everybody knows Kylie Minogue there.
Yeah.
Like, she's the icon
Right.
of like Europe.
Now, did you like? We talked about in our like very first episode of this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about seeing her in the Vegas residency.
Yes.
And
yeah, that's right.
Did you like?
This is an episode full of callbacks.
It's full circle. That's what happens in a year. Next year we'll see her again. We'll
Yeah,
see Kylie Minogue
right.
one more time. Did you like this concert better than the residency?
I didn't like it better than the residency, because in the residency we were 2 feet away from her.
Yes.
Like we were literally right next to Kylie
Right.
Minogue, which was like the craziest experience.
Yeah, it was very
ever.
very intimate.
This
was very
one,
special.
This one we were further away because obviously it was an arena.
Right.
And we're not the type of people who are going to stand at the front of a stage for 4 hours. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like
We
in
had
the
our
pit.
seats. We were
Yeah.
further back.
Yes.
But I loved being a little bit further back.
Yeah.
And just being able to experience the whole thing. I mean, she had her lasers.
Yeah,
They
you
were going-
love lighting design. We got to see all that.
Yeah, all of her little lasers and all her rock star lighting that was
Yeah.
happening.
It was fabulous.
It really was a wonderful show.
Yeah, and then literally 2 days later, we went and saw the greatest performer of all time,
Yeah.
Beyonce.
I can't believe we did those two in one weekend.
Yeah.
Friday and then Sunday.
Yeah. We saw Beyonce at SoFi Stadium, the Cowboy Carter tour.
I am hooked now. I'm like hooked on Beyonce.
Larry was like not a big Beyonce person before this, which was funny.
No, but, Cowboy Carter was really the first time that I listened to Beyonce like in full.
It was like funny to me that like you weren't a big Beyonce person, but then you saw her and you were like, oh, I get it.
Oh
you know?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I told you would.
After seeing her, I mean, like I was like, after Cowboy Carter came out and seeing more of her performances, you know, like seeing that like Christmas, you know, Super Bowl, like that wasn't the Super Bowl performance that she did, and like all of that, and like seeing this era, I started to get more like into her and like started to really understand like who she is and what she's all about. And after seeing her live, I am like fully hooked.
She is incredible. Like there's no other word for it. The way she can dance and then sing after dancing like ferociously. Yeah. And puts on such a spectacle, such a crafted, cohesive
There was
show.
so much story.
Yeah.
It wasn't just
This
a
is by far
concert.
her most political tour. I will say that.
Sure.
It was very apparent.
Yeah.
You know, especially because it's like it's an album about America, right? It's like a
Right.
country.
And it's so interesting because I think she had different hopes for America when she wrote the album.
Yeah.
You know, obviously she introduced Kamala Harris, you
Yes.
know, and like was, you know, a supporter of Kamala and hoping that she would win the election. And I think that like she had different, when and that album came out before the election. And so I think like it's so interesting to see how she adapted the album to fit and to tell the news story. I mean, I think the album was still about revolution and still about, you know, I don't know. I mean, like, what
It was about, like,
liberated America, right?
Yes, it was about freedom and expression and
Right.
being what being American means.
And I mean, all of her music is about that. Not
Yes.
always about what being American means, but what being a black woman means, and freedom and liberation and all that stuff. I mean, she literally has a song called Freedom from like 10 years ago.
And then she made Renaissance for the gays.
Right,
like,
which
to,
is also
you know.
about liberation and freedom in that sense.
Absolutely.
And I think that, so her music is always about that. But it was, I loved the videos, like the interstitial videos that she had between the different like sections. You know, like they really told a story. There were just like fun. She came out on a big truck and did all her hits on a big truck.
Yes, she did.
I mean, it was just like massive. She had fire and pyro and fireworks.
Yeah.
And she flew around on a horseshoe and a car.
I know.
And she had 15 million different outfits.
And all of them were stunning.
All of them were fantastic.
Beyonce, we love you.
Beyonce, we love you. Hey, if you ever want to come on the pod.
We know you're an avid listener.
Yes,
Let's talk about that, and we love you.
I loved.
You know, I know Tina Knowles.
I do. Yes. Yeah.
I know Tina Knowles.
Yeah.
I worked with her once. And,
Yeah, I know.
And she has my phone number.
Hey.
So
Give us a call.
yeah, really.
I loved also like the shape of the stage, that it was a star.
Yes.
And how it had that imagery of the star wasn't just the floor, it also went into the backdrop itself.
Yes.
Just like and that like star imagery was so perfect because it was like it was so many different things, right? Like it represented America, it represented Texas, it represented like outer space when she did like her Renaissance section and she was doing Alien Superstar, and it was like kind of a space vibe. Like it was just like a portal, an entry portal for her. Like it was really, really like spectacular on so many different levels.
She just does everything right. Like she is the one. She is perfect. She is always on. She's never off during the performance. She is always on.
I must say, I was going on a walk yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm going to put on Beyonce. I was kind of like feeling a little sick. I wasn't feeling so good. I was like, I need to get out. I need to go on a walk. I was like, I'm going to put on Beyonce. And I put on Renaissance because I was like, I've listened to Cowboy Carter, but I haven't really like fully digested Renaissance.
You missed like an entire section of pop culture.
I can't believe I missed that show now. I'm like, I cannot believe I missed that freaking show.
Yeah.
I should have gone to that tour.
Renaissance is an awesome album.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I was strutting my stuff on my walk. I mean, it just makes you feel so fierce.
Yeah.
Like, Beyonce just makes you feel so fierce.
I know. She's awesome. That's what she does. Like,
she makes you feel fierce. Like, that's why she's so infectious.
Yes.
Like, she is so fierce, but then it makes you feel fierce as a listener.
Well, that's why she's Beyonce. You know, the name has an aura to it.
Yeah.
She's Beyonce.
Yeah.
And it's a
performer
compliment
of all time.
Yeah, the greatest performer of all time. Also, you've been like I'm pretty sure you have a sinus infection.
I guess. I don't know.
You've been sick for like 4 weeks now.
I do feel better today.
Yeah, but you've still been sniffly.
Yeah. I was going to reach out to the doctor, but I felt better today, so I didn't.
I think you should still reach out to a doctor, girl. I think you have a sinus infection.
Okay. I'm nervous because we're going on trips in like 2 weeks.
I know. We have a lot of stuff coming up.
I'm nervous, though. Like, if I go to the doctor, like, what are they going to do? They're just going to charge me money and tell me that I'm fine.
Well, maybe.
I think
But I think they're going to tell you have a sinus infection and get you like medication or whatever to fix it.
But that's the thing, like, unless you have like a bacterial sinus, there's like bacterial sinus infection and viral sinus infection, right? If you have a viral sinus infection, there's nothing they can do. If you have a bacterial sinus infection, they can give you antibiotics.
Well, maybe you have a bacterial sinus infection.
Maybe.
Who knows?
I just like, I'm nervous about getting a doctor's appointment with enough time.
Oh, you'll be fine. We'll do it after we record. How about that?
All right.
Okay, let's get to the meat of this episode.
Yeah. How are we? Okay, we're
gonna get to the meat of this episode now.
You don't want to talk any more about Beyonce?
No, Beyonce is amazing, and everybody knows that except you.
All right.
I'm wearing a Beyonce shirt at the moment.
Yeah.
From the Cowboy Carter tour. But anyway, let's talk about what we need to talk about today, which is season 1 of Let's Talk About That.
We're reminiscing.
Yes, because as this is the season finale, I feel like we should look back on the journey that we've had.
Of
so
course.
when we started this podcast, right, our first episode was called Let's Talk About That.
And we talked about that.
Do you know what we talked about in that episode?
Yeah, I just brought it up. We talked about Kylie Minogue.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about our trip that we took to the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about our goals for this podcast.
Yeah.
What else did we talk about?
I don't know. I have no idea. That's why I was asking.
Well, we definitely talked about we had just taken our first trip together as a couple.
Really? No,
Yes.
that can't be right.
It was our
We've
trip.
been together 2 years. There's no way that was our first trip.
It was our first family trip. We were like,
I thought our first family trip was like last year.
it was last year. It was in February. And then
2024. No, but
Yeah.
it wasn't in 2023?
no.
Oh.
It was in February of 2024, and then we got back, and we came up with the idea for the podcast, and we started recording it, and that was the first thing that we talked about.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I no recollection.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all the concussions I had.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And then we've talked about so many iconic things. Like Portos.
Yes,
I mean, Portos has come up a lot.
We had an episode where we talked about Portos.
We have talked about one of my favorite moments on the podcast was was our Chipotle discussion.
Oh, yes.
About head gay,
Our
supporting gay, and fierce woman in the middle.
that was from our fast food episode where we
Yes.
talked about all the different fast food chains, and Chipotle was, one of the fast food chains that we discussed. And discussing. We got to bring that back.
I know. That'll be a season 2 runner.
Discussing.
A runner, for those of you who don't know, is the recurring joke that plays out through a season.
Yeah. But it's we should give an update on that actually. Head gay supporting gay and
Yeah.
fierce woman in the middle.
Yeah.
Because head gay's working less hours.
He is.
It's
which
really
is-
upsetting.
It is very upsetting.
And now they have straight people.
There are some straight people in there, and they don't know what the fuck they're doing.
If you're a straight person, get out of Chipotle.
we don't
Straight
belong
man.
here. Okay,
If you're s-
Chipotle is a queer community.
Yeah, Chipotle is a queer space.
Yeah, it's a queer space, and it's ridiculous to me that these straight people think they can sling with no effort, like putting way less stuff
half
in
a
the
scoop
bowls.
of chicken.
Unbelievable.
Bullshit.
Especially this new one they got, and you know the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This new one they got at our local Chipotle.
And you know who you are.
And yeah, you know who you are. It's terrible. I mean, you don't give a fuck. And you know why I know he doesn't give a fuck? Is because the counter is always a mess.
Yes.
It is a mess.
100%.
Where he is slinging, okay? like it is just unbelievable. Like, I've never seen such a disgusting workplace.
Yeah.
And it's because of this straight guy who has come in and is taking up head gaze hours.
When that Chipotle station is a mess, you just know it's going to be a flop.
Now, recently, I did go without you fairly recently, and there was another a supporting gay.
Okay.
So
but
head
then when
gay-
I went, that supporting gay wasn't there.
Yes, that's true. So there was head gay at the register.
Yeah.
There was a new supporting gay
Okay.
doing the bowls.
Work.
And there was a fierce woman.
Was it fierce woman?
It was
in
a
the
different
middle?
fierce woman.
Different fierce woman. in the middle.
Different
Okay.
fierce woman. In the middle.
I just wonder about head gay, like, because he really just hasn't been there as much.
I don't know, but I do try and compliment him every time we go because
Yeah.
I want him to feel appreciated by the Chipotle customer base.
There was one time where he was gone for, like, I don't know, had to be a month,
Yeah.
maybe. And we go to Chipotle like every week.
Not every week, but close
We
to
have
it.
bouts where we'll go like 2 times in a week.
Yeah.
And then maybe we won't go. And
Hey,
then,
Josh Bassett ate it every day. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. and we went there, and head gay was there, and it had been a long time since he was there, and I was like, "We're so happy to see you." And he like didn't really register, but Jacob was so embarrassed.
It was a ridiculous thing to say to a fast food worker.
Yes,
Like,
who doesn't know us?
who doesn't
personally.
know us.
I think he knows us.
I think he does.
I think he
Like,
just doesn't want to admit that he knows.
he
us.
knows when the girls walk in.
Yeah,
Like, he
yeah,
knows when
he-
the girls are there.
I mean, he clocks the divas.
Yeah, but I do try and compliment him every time, just to like in the hopes that maybe he'll like keep working there, like
Right, so he feels appreciated.
Right, when he feels appreciated by the customer.
Yes.
I feel like it gives him more incentive to stay.
Because that's what it's all about.
Right.
When you're appreciated by the customer,
Right.
you wanna
And I
keep working.
I also want him to know that he has made such an impact on my life.
100%.
Like the Chipotle phenomenon of head gay, supporting gay, and fierce woman in the middle has been so wonderful. And it's so
Yeah.
nice to hear all of you who have shared that experience
Yes.
and know that experience.
Because it is a global experience.
It is. It really is. And I just I couldn't be more appreciative of head gay, supporting gay,
Yeah.
and fierce woman in the middle.
So to head gay, from Let's Talk About That, we just want to say
We love you. We love you.
know?
We love you.
we do.
And Chipotle, we love you too.
Chipotle, we frickin' love you.
Love you. Love you. Okay, more Let's Talk About That right after this. And we're back.
We are back.
Okay, so I really want to ask you what have been some highlights of the podcast? for
Yeah.
you?
Well, we haven't even gotten into our amazing guests that we've had this year.
No, that'll be later in our discussion.
But I remember one of my favorite episodes that we did is when we talked about the poopy pits.
Oh, yes.
And you were telling me about camping. I think that one was the same.
They're called latrines. Latrines.
Nah, they're called poopy pits.
Okay.
And I think that was the same episode where we talked about curling.
Yeah, it might
I think
have been
it was
the
all part of
curling
one episode.
Yeah.
And
I'm going to attempt to cross my leg. You, by the way, you did not mention a single thing about the extravagantly elegant robe I'm wearing on this episode.
I'm so sorry. It's because we talked about it a lot before we started rolling.
Yeah.
I love this robe.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's reminiscent of our poster design or cover key art, as they
Of
say,
season 1.
and which will be changing.
That's right.
So we're shedding the royal theme and we're
Embracing
picking
a new
up a
one.
new one.
Yeah. And it's exciting. It's elevated. It's premium.
Yes.
And I'm so excited for you all to see it when season 2 is starting to happen.
Come on, premium.
Yeah. But what was I saying before that? I got so distracted by your lack of compliments.
We were talking about the poopy pits.
Oh, the poopy pits, of course. Latrines.
Yeah. And I just remember that being such a funny episode. I love the ones where we laugh.
Yeah.
The mac and cheese incident.
The mac and cheese incident
We
will
talked
go down.
for like a solid 30 minutes about that.
Yeah.
About that one thing.
That will go down, I think, in LTAT history.
Yeah.
As herstory, rather.
Yes.
As one of the premium moments
I'm so proud of the little video that we posted.
It got like no likes.
I know. But it was fun for me.
It's because we switched up our format. It was because we posted something we don't normally post,
Right.
so nobody saw it.
But it was fun for me.
Thanks, algorithm.
Yeah, thanks to the algorithm.
Yeah.
But I love when we get to do like little fun things with the podcast that are just kind of fun for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're fun for the people who are with us every week, you know? Like we do have some recurring jokes that we bring back, you know, week after week after week. And I think that we need that, you know? It's a key part of the fabric of our show and who we are as people.
Hey listener, what's your favorite joke? What's your favorite recurring bit?
Let us know in the comments.
Yeah,
I mean,
let us know.
We're here to read them. Like that's what we do. What other favorite moments did you have?
Ooh, I love that we did 2 separate episodes about Disneyland.
Yes.
I love that we did a Disneyland part 1 and a Disneyland part 2.
Yeah, well, one was the pre-going and one was after
the pre and the post.
Right.
I love how many times we've talked about theme parks.
Theme parks have come up a lot. Remember we talked about Roller Coaster Tycoon for a long time.
We did.
On this podcast. We talked about Zelda.
We talked about Zelda. We've talked about all of our favorite
Hey, how's
things.
it going with my book, by the way?
Love.
Larry has still not read my book. This, I think, was mentioned in episode 1 of this podcast.
I don't know about that.
That I wrote a book. And Larry had said he would read it. And still is not 50 weeks later.
I've read much of it.
Honey.
But I've also read 3 Harry Potter books.
You've read 3 Harry Potter books. You read Wicked. You read all these things over the course of this
Wicked
podcast.
before you were finished with your book.
No, that's not true, Ellen. That's not the truth.
Okay, well, the only books that I've read have been Harry Potter, the first 3 Harry Potter books, and I was getting into it. You know, I really got into a lot of stuff this year because of you.
Well, you know, I'm here to inspire.
Yeah.
That's really what I do. You know.
I can't believe I even forgot that we dressed up as Elphaba and Glinda
On an episode of the show.
Yeah.
You were in full green.
Full green.
I was in Glinda pink.
Yeah.
And we did that whole episode. That was a very uncomfortable episode to
Very
record.
uncomfortable.
I remember that distinctly because I was wearing like spandex, which is like very heat trapping. Mm-hmm. I was wearing like a very heat trapping material, so I was warming up. By the way,
my face was green.
Yeah, your face was green,
which was very uncomfortable as well.
Yes, that's true. By the way, I haven't mentioned that we are recording this on probably one of the hottest days we have had in a long time.
In a while,
here.
yeah.
And I am wearing a 30-pound robe.
I'm feeling easy, breezy, beautiful.
I am sweating so hard.
I'm sorry.
But you know, I do it for you.
Yes,
Okay? I do
he
it
does
for
it for
you.
the fans. He does it for the gays. As everything I do is for the gays. We talked about musical theater.
Yes.
We took this podcast on the road multiple times.
We filmed so many different locations. Okay, we filmed in New Jersey. We filmed in New York. We filmed in Sally Struthers' house.
We filmed in Salt Lake City, Utah.
We filmed in Nikki Haskell's house.
Yeah.
I mean, we have been all over the map.
All over
here.
the world.
And I think we might have some upcoming episodes in season 2 that could be even more all over the world than
Different continents,
yeah,
even.
Yeah, but
Which is just, that's so exciting that we can go all over the world with our voices and our and our spirit and our attitude.
our voices carry. Okay,
Yes.
Hear us roar.
Queer stories matter.
They matter. They just do.
Yeah.
They matter.
And I don't know. Those are all my favorite moments. I mean, and
I liked-
it's all just like flooding back to me.
Yeah. I'll tell you some of my favorite moments. Thanks for asking.
I was just about to ask you,
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
what were some of your favorite moments on the podcast this past year? Bitch.
One of my favorite moments. They're kind of all moments that were funny for me.
This is the part where you make me feel bad.
No. One of my favorite moments was when you tried to do the Scottish accent. Do you remember that?
No, it was a Boston accent.
Oh, the Boston accent. Yeah. Can you try it again right now?
No.
Say 7 years ago in a
No.
Boston accent. Come on. It's the full circle episode.
Let's see. Fourscore. No, that's not Boston.
That's New Jersey.
How would they say four? Fourscore. I don't know. That's New Jersey.
Come on, say it. Do the whole thing.
Fourscore and 7 years ago. That's a little better.
It was a little better. You have to
Four.
think of JFK. Like, you have to really like internalize the voice of JFK.
All I can do is Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
There's a worm in my brain.
We gotta make America healthy again.
There's a worm in my brain. Yeah, that was one of my favorite moments. Another one was when we were talking about the seals at La Jolla when we went to San Diego.
Yeah.
Remember we did some seal imitations?
I remember now that you say it. I didn't remember previously.
Going, "Oi."
Honey.
What? That's what they sound like.
What do you have like a favorite episode overall?
No, I love them all. They're all my children.
You can't remember.
I can't remember a single one. I have no idea what we've done on this podcast.
That's
I don't
crazy
know.
to me. I feel like you usually remember so much. You do memorize. You are good at memory.
I am.
remembering. Jeez.
I
Just had a fucking
yeah,
seizure.
a little moment. I am good at remembering things, but the podcast is like a separate thing. It's like the camera starts rolling, and I just go blank. You know,
come
like,
alive. You're
I
living
come
in
alive.
the moment.
Yeah, it's like you know those like when there's like really like big performers and they go on stage and they just like black out and they do the
their
show.
name is Beyonce.
Right, and then they're done and they have no memory of what just happened.
Yeah.
That's me on this podcast.
Okay.
Also,
So
I
you're
just
saying
gave
this
myself a Ross Matthews critique on the main stage of the RuPaul's Drag Race.
You just
runway.
compared yourself to Beyonce.
I did.
This is your stadium.
Yeah, this is my stadium.
This is your SoFi stadium.
This is my tour. Okay.
What would our tour be called?
Let's talk about that live.
Okay, but
Let's talk about live.
T.
Live talk about that.
If it was like okay, but if it was like Jacob Bellotti, the blank tour. Like if you went on
I
a
don't know
tour,
what mine would be, but I do know what yours would be.
you're gonna say the stinky tour. And that's not fair.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Larry Saperstein, the stinky tour.
No, we could come up with something better than that.
The poopy tour?
No.
The
that's
farty
yours.
tour.
Yours would be the poopy doopy tour.
No, it wouldn't. What would my tour be?
The cute tour.
Oh, that's nice.
I don't know. I think that's something you have to come up with for yourself.
Yeah. I am Sasha Farts. How about that?
I am Jacob Bellotti.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Welcome to the mayhem. Welcome to the madness. Welcome to Jacob Bellotti.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. No, I have no idea what we've talked about in this podcast.
All right. Well,
But I do remember some of the people we've had on this podcast.
let's get into our amazing guests that we've had on this podcast.
I mean, my God, I'm not going to ask you what a favorite guest was, because I think they're all are incredible in their own ways.
yeah. Instead, I'll ask you, who is your least favorite guest?
Without a doubt, Jerome, our producer.
Yeah, Jerome.
My God, Jerome is fired.
Yeah, this is where we announce that we're firing Jeremy. No, someone asked us the other day, is Jeremy? What does Jeremy do for the podcast? And
was that not John Tartaglia who asked us that?
no, it was Tim.
Oh, it was Tim Federle.
Yes, and he.
Hey, what would an LTAT finale be without mentioning Tim Federle?
Our most talked about character,
Yeah.
Tim Federle,
Oh, we
who
talked about
we
him.
know is listening.
Yeah, we love you, Tim.
We love you. But he asked us so your producer's name is Jeremy, and what does he do for the podcast? And we were like, oh, that's a joke. He doesn't do anything for the podcast.
He does nothing.
So I don't know if that's clear.
Yeah, we don't have a producer. We do this ourselves.
Jeremy is our friend, and he's been your friend for a very long time, almost a decade.
Yes.
And he does not do anything for the podcast.
No.
Sometimes he
does
hangs
not.
out, and
Occasionally.
he was a guest.
He was a guest on an episode.
But he has never touched. He has never touched a microphone.
No.
He has never touched a camera. On this podcast, and he has never touched an editing software or uploaded or posted a single thing.
No, we have done all of that. And despite him working in marketing, he has not helped us market the podcast.
Yeah, ridiculous.
But we love you, Jerome.
we love you, Jerome.
But you're still fired.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, fired. He could be a fan.
But guest moments. Let's talk about some guest moments.
We started so strong with Julia Lester.
Queen. By the way, we've been watching her in the 4 seasons.
Love.
She is a standout.
We binged it.
Yeah, she's a standout in the 4 seasons.
Yes, her play that she does,
Yeah.
that her character does, hilarious.
I
Stole the
texted
show.
her after. I was
Oh
like,
my goodness,
this
I didn't know
this
that.
is iconic. And, she was showing love.
I love that.
Yeah.
So we started off really strong with Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Day Mori.
Day Murray, who has become one of our good friends.
One of our good friends, who he wasn't really a great friend of ours before this, but we've been hanging out with him a lot since he was on the podcast.
Love Day Murray. He's phenomenal.
And I do love that this podcast has brought us more friends.
It has.
It's brought us closer to people.
That's been really fun. And it's been really fun to make some connections with people that we weren't very close with before.
Yeah, 100%.
And
now reconnect with some people who we weren't as close with, just because of life. And
right.
then they came back. Like a great example of that is Ashley Argota.
Yeah.
I had known her for a very long time, but she came onto the podcast and we were able to reconnect with her, and which was so lovely.
She was awesome.
Yeah.
And I also feel like we kind of it's not rekindling something, but I feel like it brought us even closer to Dara.
Yes,
Renee.
absolutely.
And
her episode was amazing.
Her
by the way.
episode,
one of my favorites.
When she was talking about the crab legs.
Oh my God,
that is one of my favorite moments of this entire podcast.
It's one of my favorite clips that we've ever posted online.
The crab legs was hilarious.
Yes.
But after that, we went to Olivia's concert with her. We
Yes.
saw her at a bunch of things.
That's where we met Keith, who also was a guest on our podcast.
That's right. I just think we have really met some cool Jason Dolly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that was great. We've met some very, very cool people through doing this.
Yeah.
Who now are people in our lives.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jason Earls was one of my favorite episodes.
Yeah.
And, I loved that we got to really talk about Hannah Montana with him and like get into it and kind of like reveal some things or share some things that maybe aren't like tea, but like they're never really been shared before in that way.
Yeah, and what's also interesting is like, yes, there are people like that who are our friends now.
Yeah.
But it's like we were also fans of them. Like,
yeah,
like
John Tartaglia as well.
Like we grew up watching a lot of these people the same way you, our listener or viewer, did.
Yeah.
And like now to be like sitting with them is kind of bonkers in the brain.
Yeah. I mean, and we were already friends with Jason Earls.
No, I'm saying like there are people like that. Yes, we're friends with like, and it's like, but it's like still kind of bonkers that we're friends with those people and that they came on this show.
Yeah.
And we had Kylie Cantrell. The week Descendants came out.
That was crazy.
I mean, that was awesome. That's a great one. If you want to go,
great episode.
Go listen if you haven't yet.
She's so like wonderful in this kind of setting. Like she was so wonderful to hear her talk about Descendants, and now she's doing the next one, and like all of that. It was just so amazing to be part of that kind of like, I don't want to say press tour, but like part of that moment. You know? It was a real moment for us being like, oh, it was legitimizing. You know what I mean? For us at that moment.
For sure. I think we've really done it this season.
Absolutely.
Like this season, we have done a lot of the goals we set out to do in starting this podcast.
Yeah. And who have we not mentioned? Haley Fitzgerald,
Hilarious.
Sally Struthers, Darcy Rose Burns, Marsha.
Yeah, having Sally Struthers on this podcast was
like truly
an
a legend.
Unbelievable moment.
Yeah.
I mean, she is an icon of television. And you know how much I love television.
I know how much you love television. She has 2 Emmys.
I know.
And they were right behind us when we were
filming. She has the same number of Emmys as I do. It's crazy. it's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I could not be more thrilled with the people we've had on.
Yeah.
And I couldn't be more thrilled with the people we know that are to come.
Absolutely.
On this podcast. And I know there's certain people y'all have requested over and over again, and trust, we are working on it.
We hear your requests.
We do.
And it's people are busy, right? Like we really love filming these episodes in person with our guests. We love being in the same room as them. It makes the episodes better.
Yeah.
It really does. It makes the interview better. It makes everyone feel more comfortable. It makes it more fun. And so we have to just wait till those people are free and available and in the same state and city as us.
People
and
travel.
Sometimes that takes a while.
People travel in this industry, and it's hard to get people's schedules sometimes.
Yeah.
But trust, we are working on it.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited to bring you a lot of those people in season 2 as well.
And we've already talked about, all of our hopeful guests. You know, we want to get Catherine on.
Yes.
You know what I mean? We will get her eventually.
Yeah.
I know we will.
Yeah. Sutton Foster, I think that one's attainable. At the moment.
She'll be on at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I've loved both things. I've loved doing the guest episodes, but I really do love also getting to sit and talk with you. Like,
yeah, we have fun and we're silly, Yeah. We say stupid things.
And I also feel like sometimes we catch up about things that we don't even realize that we didn't talk about in our regular life.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we tell each other stories about things that, like, you hadn't, that when we talked about the camp stuff and we talked about the poopy pits. You were telling me stories about camp, which is such a big important part of your life.
Sure.
And I knew a lot about your camp experiences, but I never knew those specific stories. You know what I mean? And
that's true.
I feel like I talked about Wizard 101, on the podcast.
Right, which we found out was a shared experience.
And like that has become something that we like kind of have between us that we still talk about to this day. And you got me a Wizard 101 t-shirt.
You wore it on the podcast.
I wore it on the podcast,
Yeah.
you know? So like it's been wonderful to like find those shared moments, because obviously we talk a lot every single day, but when we're talking about a specific topic, we find deeper moments and we have deeper connection.
Well, that's sweet.
That's what it's all about.
What a sweet sentiment.
Yeah.
Do you have any like final thoughts about this season?
I mean, I think for me, it is still a gag that we got John Tartaglia. Like, we're not a Broadway podcast, but
No.
I just grew up loving Broadway and theater so much. I have a degree in theater. I just love theater with all my heart. And to have someone
Who is a television actor?
who's a television actor
Yeah.
who has been so influential to like the pieces of theater that were so influential to me.
Yeah.
And the fact that he was here, sitting in the chair you're sitting in right now,
Yeah.
talking to us and just like yabbing with us as girls, like just was so surreal.
And he was going to show us he's going to show us
Like the creature shop or
the
something like
creature
that.
shop in Burbank.
But he's been out of town. And of course, the second he gets back into town, we're going to be
out
gone
of
for
town.
2 months.
But we will reconvene with
We
him.
will. We will, absolutely.
You know, that's like we're very big on like when we have people on, they're people that we want to keep talking to.
Absolutely.
You know, and they're people that we want to keep in our lives.
Yeah.
And so we're very big on that. Like
I think that is, I mean, I sort of already said this, but I think that is really one of the things that I'm most thankful for about this experience in this first year.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's brought us closer together. It's helped us discover like our creative language with each other. It's helped us like figure out the way that we work best together. And it's helped us connect with a bunch of other amazing people that we just love. And like everyone that we've had on is so talented in their own ways and very diverse in their talents and diverse in what they want to say to the world or what they have said to the world.
I mean,
And-
you look at like we've had like John Tartaglia, you know, who does puppetry and Broadway and television.
Yeah.
We've had like we had Stephanie Sosa.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Steph
who's
Sosa.
dances on Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah.
Like
And then like Keith Habersberger is just a
try guy.
a completely different
we had the
space.
world's foremost queer magician, Day Mori. I mean,
Yes.
we've had
We had one of the most famous realtors in the world, Jordan March.
Jordan March. we had, you know, the queen of Studio 54,
Yeah.
Nikki Haskell. Like we have had people from so many different walks of entertainment
Yeah.
and life.
I feel like
really.
I've learned so much from all of our guests.
Yes.
Cosette, hello.
Cosette
My gosh.
taught us everything about the internet and
Yeah.
beating Donald Trump in court.
Yeah.
I just and you know, also Jordan March, by the way, reality television star.
Yes, yeah.
And so we've kind of we're hitting all the different, you know, facets of entertainment
Yeah.
with our guests, and that's something I love too.
Yeah, and I hope that like our audience, you guys listening, like have enjoyed being along for that ride, because I know, you know, we try not to limit ourselves in terms
Right.
of who we get
We
on
don't
this show.
just have High School Musical people.
Right,
because
we
you were
don't-
in High School Musical.
right, we
like,
don't just have drag queens, you know,
because I was at, you know, Drag
right,
Race
like
and all that.
it's about broadening ourselves as well and learning new things, and like that's why we called it Let's Talk About That, because it was like, who has something interesting to say, or what are the things that we can talk about that pique our interest.
And you also might have noticed, like, a lot of the time, we don't. Yes, we'll sit and we'll touch on the mainstream things that people have done, but like they'll say something like kind of random.
Yes.
And we'll be like, oh, let's talk about that. You know,
Right.
let's
talk about that.
Right. Like let's go on a little tangent about a ghost story that
I was
you have.
literally just going to say that. I mean, like a great example of that is like when Ashley Argota was talking about the stages being haunted.
Yeah.
The Nickelodeon stages being haunted. Like I want to hear that story because that's interesting to me.
Or Dara Renee encountering a spirit. Like who knows? You know, it's like those are the moments that I love about our podcast.
Yeah.
Like it's not so much talking about you're on the Disney Channel games or whatever. Like I love when we get on the weird side tangents. Those are my favorite moments.
Yeah, me
that
too.
We have.
Me too.
I think it's been just such an incredible season. I could not be more thrilled with how our first season came out. And we did this for a year, 50 weeks, people.
Yeah.
And we did not miss a single one.
That's true.
So,
not a single week we miss.
Not 1 week. And I think that is an achievement for both of us and ourselves as considering that, keep in mind, we have nobody helping us. Like,
right.
We are doing this ourselves. We are setting this up. We're recording. We're booking people to come. We're editing it. We're making social media polls. We're doing all of this stuff. And I think it's a real accomplishment that we did 50 episodes in a row.
Yeah, and we deserve a moment to celebrate that achievement.
That's right.
And hey, if you've been listening for 50 weeks, I mean, there are people who have listened to every single episode that we've posted, or they found us, you know, for some guests that they loved and have been sticking with us since then. Like, we get comments, you know, like I found you guys when for the Jason Earls episode, and I've been here ever since. You know, like that is an accomplishment too, that you've been listening with us and you've been here with us, and we want to know like what guests you want us to have. We want to know what you want us to talk about. We want to know what your favorite moments have been, because I think it's been an opportunity for us to connect with people in our world, but it's also an opportunity for us to connect with you.
Yeah, and I do want to reiterate, we could not be more grateful for those of you who have been around the whole time, who have joined us, who are now fans of the show. Like it is really it's changed our lives. And and we see your comments. We know you're out there. We try and respond when we can.
Yeah, I think we've tried as hard as we can to create a positive space that it feels safe and where people can come and laugh and be silly, but also like be interested in things and be interested in geeky, nerdy things and be interested in weird things.
We talked about board games with Jason Dolly for like 20 minutes.
Right. And you know, there's a lot of spaces in our country and in the world where like talking about those things and being interested in those things like brings a lot of judgment. And I want us to be a safe space. And I want it to be a place for you guys, our audience, to like feel like you can come and express those interests and feel excited to go on that journey with us.
Yeah, because we're nerds.
Yeah.
Like we are.
That's like one of the things I loved so much about Keith. Like when we were working on the clips that we posted of Keith's episode, is like, you know, I realized we hit a lot of the same targets of things. Like him being a try guy is it really is similar to what we do. Like, not that we're trying everything, but we want to talk about everything. We want to dive into all of those things. We want to learn about all of those things.
Yeah.
And like experience the world like here in these chairs in this room.
Yeah. Well, we are so excited to experience the world with all of you in season 2 of the podcast. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't believe we've made it and we're doing a second season.
Yeah.
It's just thrilling for us.
I really can't wait for everyone to see all of the new posters.
Oh my God.
All of that stuff that we have already put into our next season, because we worked really hard on it and we had a lot of fun doing it. And I think it just like, it's so you said it was premium before, but it really just feels like so fun, and I'm personally so excited for all of that.
Yeah, and if you want to follow that and start seeing all of those things when they come out soon, I'm not going to say when, but soon. When they come out, that is, you can follow our Instagram at Let's Talk About That Pod.
Yeah.
You can follow our TikTok at Let's Talk About That Pod.
Oh my God. Another thing about our TikTok, which is a big milestone that we should talk about.
Oh, yes.
As we are recording this, we are like moments away. Maybe even as we've recorded this episode, we have hit it. I would have to check.
Yeah.
But we are moments away from hitting 1 million likes on our TikTok page, which I feel like is a big milestone.
That is unbelievable.
That means of all of the clips we've posted, people have liked our videos 1 million times.
It is bonkers.
Like, to
bonkers.
make something from our living room and have 1 million people or 1 million times people clicked and
hold
liked
on.
it.
We're in a gated studio in Van Nuys.
That's true. That's very true. It's cool to just feel like we've said something and people have responded.
And I am glad that all of you have responded. Thank you so much for tuning in to season 1 of the show. And we cannot wait to see you again.
Yeah.
For season 2 of Let's Talk About That. Bye.
We talked about it.
Yeah.